Hello, 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 Leos. How are you guys doing? Hope everybody is doing good. Welcome. My name is Patty. I'm an empath that is doing your intuitive tarot. It's actually divine intuitive. My tarot is geared towards helping you with your problems, solutions to problems, maybe a question you're asking divine, things that you're having a challenge with, to lift you up and guide you from the divine, not from me. I'm just the conduit. So I am mixing astrology and numerology. That's really important because we have basically a lot of energy, and it is made from divine. So that's why I go to the divine for the source. So astrology is part of that energy of divine. So pretty much the same sometimes. It's really amazing how it works. And numerology has been around for thousands of years. So I just mix that in to see if there is a balance that I can get from them. So hopefully this will help you in your journey. And I am doing this from the 14th through the 20th. Now we're getting ready for a full moon on the 24th, guys. So just start to know that you're probably after the 21st, you start going to feel those full moon energies start pulling. And I am going to try to do a full moon reading. However, I'm getting ready to go on vacation. So we'll see about that. And I'll share some more news with that as we go. So let's get started. This is going to be for those that are brand new to tarot. These are oracle cards, and they're sort of like a theme, okay? And that theme, excuse me, I got to turn down my thing. My daughter keeps texting me. I'm going to tell her I am videotaping because she is having a struggle, videotaping at work. Again, you know, tarot here is for your troubles and solutions and things like that. She's going through some major troubles at her work. Her boss left her alone after being on the job. I think she's been on the job 6 months, and the boss is gone for like a month, and she's the only one in that department. Not a cool thing. So she's going through a lot of struggles right now with her work. Anyway, let's get back on track for you guys. So the full moon is going to be creating some kerfuffle a little bit. That always happens with a full moon. We have, I'm recording this on the 8th. Now we have, if you're watching this before the 10th, we have a solar eclipse major on the 10th. So if you get a chance to watch that, feel those energies as the moon goes between the sun and the earth. Amazing, amazing. I just love astrology and the planets. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so for those that are new, we're going to get a theme with these oracles, and then we're going to go into the cards. At the end, I am going to go also into a love relationship reading. I will be doing those at the end because sometimes the divine doesn't show us love in the reading, but I think it's important, especially if you're going in a relationship and having troubles. We want to sort of see what's going on there. I don't do extendeds yet. I will in the future. My 1 year anniversary is in July, so probably after July, I may be thinking about going into extendeds. Depend on how the subs are. We'll see how that goes. So, for our first card out, Divine's card. So there is somebody who is actually really needing strength this week. Remember, this is the 14th through the 20th. So there's some type of challenge that is going on for somebody, and they do need the strength into focusing in on what their path is, also focusing in on what they want to do for their future, because this is a progress. Somebody's actually, I think, facing something new here. All right, because we have the number 8 in numerology. In numerology, this is about a progress, a sequence of events happening that is going on. And so it's like, okay, am I going to take the bull by the horns and do this? And if I'm going to do this, I got to do it 100%. I really need some strength and wisdom if I should be doing this. But this sounds like this is something that you want, because we've got the wishing well as your current energies for the 14th through the 20th. And this is the number 3 in numerology, and that is to acknowledge what you really want, what you want for your goals, where you want to go, what you want to do, and how you want to do it. Okay, so it is going to take some strength to plan, guys. You cannot jump into something. And a lot of the times we jump into something and then we're like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. Divine saying, take that strength, hold on to that, and really focus in. He's having me focus in on the tree on the top of the world. He says, focus in on what you want. Okay, that world is a big distraction, but that tree on the very top is what your goal is, where you want it to go. Okay, so this is something you're wanting and desiring. We can wish for things. That's a pipe dream, because wishing for something may not happen unless we make it happen, manifest it to happen, move forward to make it happen. Because she's actually moving away from the wishing well and seeing, well, should I do that or should I not do that? Is that what I really want? We can wish for a ton of things. We have potential to do a ton of things. However, we really need to focus in on one thing. It's sort of like the Two of Pentacles card. Somebody's focusing on way too much. Again, Divine says, go back to the world. Too much, too many distractions. Focus in on that plant or the tree on the top. Okay, that's where you want to go, because your future energies, remember, we're getting ready to go into a full moon here, and those energies are going to pull at you to be distracted. All right, so we don't want to be distracted, because this is about building a new core foundation, a new standard, a new balance, new base. And we have to have, not only intentions can be empty. We can have the intention to go visit somebody and then back out. We can have the intention to do our best, but something happens and our emotions and our feelings get in the way and we cancel out. We have good intentions, how they're pretty much empty. However, what you want to do is look at the intention, because this is the number 4. This is about your core. Remember, I said this is about your core. What's beautiful. Oh, I just saw this. Thank you for that. But this is about your core foundation. So what is it that you intend to do and act on it? That is what he's asking. And the reason why I said thank you is, he said, look at the numbers on all these cards. And each card has a relevance. Whoops. Each card has a relevance because there's a 4 in every single card. That means you're heading towards something new to create a new foundation in something. I don't know what that is for you. It could be love. It could be work. It could be family. It could be travel. It could be something, again, that you are desiring and really, really wanting. But are you ready to put 100% effort into it? Maybe even 200%, because you may have to go over, above and beyond. It's sort of like a job saying, you know, when you go into an interview, what have you done above and beyond your normal job? Blah, 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 blah. Have you ever been asked that in an interview? What have you done to go above and beyond to make your customers happy? Those kind of things. You may have to do that in a relationship. If you're looking at a relationship, you may have to do that in a relationship. That takes strength. That takes commitment. That takes a freaking lot of energy, because by the time you go home, you're exhausted. Even like, you know, it's really funny, because God works in mysterious ways. I worked in purchasing for many years. Okay, well, not many. I take that back. After I closed my business, I went into purchasing for 3 years. Okay. And everybody said, oh, that's an easy job. That's an easy job, you know, because you're sitting all day. And I'm like, that is an extremely mental, stressful job, because you got deadlines and you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars that could be lost or delayed because of your incompetence of not getting the products in on time to build something. Okay. But they're like, oh, that's easy. That's easy. Right. And I got so stressed out, I ended in the hospital for 4 days. Okay. But to somebody on the outside, you think, oh, a sit down job is really easy. Well, God, reason why I said God works in mysterious ways, God put my daughter in what do you call it? Administrative job for an administrative assistant. I can't talk today. Well, that company, it's a manufacturing company. That company actually put her into more purchasing. And now she's extremely stressed out. And I'm telling her this is not good. Plus, it's a very messed up company. They're not in order. They don't have a good structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so she's now seeing that, Mom, yeah, I can understand where your stress came from. I'm not going to allow her to stay in that job. I mean, it's up to God and her. However, I think she's realizing it's time to go because it isn't a good structure. So you have to know what your strengths are and what you can do and what you can handle and what you can go above and beyond, but where your limits are. You have to know where your limits are. And is it a healthy or toxic? Are the limits a good standard limit? And whose standard are they? In a lot of corporations, it's their standards and what they want, and they will pimp you out. And I say pimp you out by saying they will suck every little piece of energy from you and still pay you the same amount of money. And they will add more and more and more and more. And it is going to be your strength to say, no. You have to you got to say, enough is enough. You don't pay me enough. You keep adding stuff. Don't pimp me out. Keep adding stuff to my thing and not pay me for it. Okay. So, and I usually say that in a way, sorry, somebody shared that with me and he says, they're pimping me out. And I'm like, what? But it's actually very true. Okay. So our first card out, this is going to tell me a little bit about your past. So I think in someone's past here, Leos, that somebody had a lot of opportunities and they maybe didn't have the internal structure to make good choices. Or maybe they wanted to make good choice, but they didn't have the core foundation. Remember, somebody here is talking about core foundation because we got all fours here. We got 4s and 8, your potential and your progress. Okay, 4s and 8s and 3 to acknowledge it is time to really hone in on what it is. Hey, Felix, welcome, welcome. But somebody in the past has had an opportunity of a lot of different things. However, I don't think their past allowed them to have the structure. I don't know how to say this politely. Have the structure. They'll put it this way. Their family was dysfunctional and messed up and it messed them up. Okay. I don't know how to say it any other way. All right. I don't know how to say it any other way. Gosh, sorry about that, guys. So this has been a challenge, and it does take strength to break away from that mentality, because you first off have to recognize that. And so somebody's beginning to recognize that, wow, you know what? I really didn't have the tools and things in my toolbox to make good choices and make good decisions in the past. However, right now, I'm learning how to do that. You're standing up and you're actually facing that. And it does take a lot of strength and a lot of courage to say, you know what? I used to be that way. Trust me, I've been there. I used to be a liar, manipulator. I used to know how to smoosh my way to get anything that I wanted. But what was it doing? It was spiraling me down rather than spiraling me up. And that wasn't getting me anywhere other than to in trouble. And so there is something, it's almost like we get to a turning point in our life that we realize that old core foundation freaking is dysfunctional and I got to stop it. And how do I stop it? How do I start a new, fresh way of thinking? Because now divine is saying, I need to make better choices. I need to make better decisions. And it does take strength and courage to admit, because then you're out of denial. Number one thing in anything that we do that is unhealthy or dysfunctional is the first thing is admit you're out of denial. I admit I was wrong. I admit I screwed up. I admit that my life was dysfunctional. I admit I was a liar. I admit I was a cheater. And it's very, very hard to do that. Okay. So I don't know who this is for, but here we go. All right. So let me see what we've got here. I've got a challenge card that I'm a little concerned about. But I really think this is an energy for now. This is the energy now, and I will share that here in a minute with you. The big strength is that you have one of the big things, positive things that you have working for you, is that you really want to learn how to communicate properly, move forward, and make better decisions. And there's some balance here that is happening. So you're trying to get balance back in your life. And this is a beautiful thing because the only way you're going to get balance back into your life is inner work, one, and two, communicate. If you're with a partner, or if you're at work, or if you're in school, or the only way that you're going to get balance if you're frustrating or struggling or whatever is communicate it. Because most people may not have if you're like me back then, even my husband at that time would say, you act like everything is okay and it's not. Why is it that you cannot show that? So you can't act as if everything is okay if it's not. You have to communicate. This is, I just got finished, I did finish it this week. I'm going to share with you. I did do the video on my story and sexual abuse, and also the tools that I use to help me heal and grow and have healthy relationships after. But the thing is that you have to be able to communicate, be transparent and vulnerable with someone. Now, I couldn't do that for many, many years, but I communicated to divine. I'm like, yes, I'm hurt. Yes, I feel like shit. Yes, I feel like I'm nobody. I feel like, nobody cares. Nobody understands me. I'm always alone. But he would communicate. He was my counselor, pretty much. And this is somebody's strength, is where they are going to get more balance in their life because you're really good at communicating. However, you've been holding things back. This is a time that you need to begin to start releasing. With this full moon, when the full moon comes in on the 24th, this is the time to start releasing, because you're in the waning gibbous of the moon. This is the time to, or is that from the full moon to, no, we're in the actual abundance moon, or we're in the backwards. Now is the time before the full moon to actually start releasing some of this energy. And your intention is to heal in this process. Okay, that's for somebody. That's not for everybody, okay? The thing that's hindering you, though, is for someone, they're on a roller coaster. I'm going to say roller coaster because there is a hindrance. And this is where I think your strength is really going to have to come through, your courage, that you're going to really have to push yourself outside the box, is that you don't want to read, you don't want to learn. And there's so much, I don't know what you're going through, but there's so much to learn, so much to move forward in. But somebody doesn't really want to learn, because we have the or they don't want to read, or they don't want to research. They just want to go by what everybody else is saying, because we have the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles in reverse shares a real stubbornness to open up. I don't know who that's for. I don't know if that's the same person, but I got somebody coming through that they're just so freaking stubborn. I don't know who that's for. Well, Leos can be stubborn, can't they? My mother was a Leo. But very strong-minded, strong-willed, very loving, very caring. Oh. But let me tell you, she could be revengeful like no tomorrow. But somebody is really stubborn in this process. And this is where I think the divine is saying, look at the number fours, look at the number fours. This is where your core foundation has to change. Because in your stubbornness, there is anger, there is bitterness, there is selfishness, and this is out of a broken foundation. This is somebody stubborn because their past was so dysfunctional, it became fearful, then fear moved into anger, anger moved into an attitude, and I can do it on my own, I can make it on my own, and this is where this is going to cause you some trouble. because then that stubborn becomes pride, and divine hates pride. Because when you get somebody so prideful, they can't learn. I don't know who this is for. But if you know somebody who's stubborn, or if you're stubborn, I used to be very stubborn. In fact, I still have a tendency to be stubborn. And I tell my daughter, if I'm being stubborn, you tell me, because I need to nip that in the bud. Because you cannot learn, you cannot be open, you cannot be adaptable to stubbornness. Thank you. I didn't even think about that until just now. Thank you very much. The adaptability, you're keeping yourself stuck. Okay, here's your challenge card, guys. And this is what worries me a little bit, is you've got these past decisions that were probably dysfunctional from childhood. You're trying to learn and grow now. But for somebody, you are definitely thinking of all these spilt cups. We've got the 5 of Cups, very Virgo energy. And thinking of the negative sides of how you can't do it, what you don't have, what people are stupid, people are idiots, I don't know who's thinking of that. And I think there's a lot of people thinking of that right now. But however, this is not healthy. And so you're moving back into dysfunction. So what we want to do is nip this dysfunction in the bud. And this, whoops, wrong card. This is your challenge card, the 5 of Cups, to turn around and think, I can do this, but I might need help. I can do this, but I need to probably research a little bit more. I don't want to jump into this, because this is about your potential and your dreams, and you have to acknowledge this, about your future, about your journey, about what you want in life. And the thing is, it could be second dimensional, it could be first dimensional, it could be world, or it could be spiritual. What you want. Maybe you just want to be loved. That's second dimensional. And that you can manifest. However, when I talk about this strength thing and this that's going on, well, I can't be loved. I'm ugly. I'm fat. Nobody would love me. I was told that nobody would love me. This is in my sexual video as well, my sexual abuse video. And hopefully I'll get that out this week. However, somebody's thinking in the opposite way. So you can't open yourself to learn. You have to be a little bit more vulnerable and adaptable to learn. Okay, I don't know who that's for. All right. So what I would really like to do, Divine, is I'd really like to get some clarity on the intention card for the future, whether it's in astrology or your wisdom or whoever you want to send through. I would really like to get some clarity. Too many cards. On the intention, please. So the intention card it leaves things open. It's a very it's sort of a very broad. It's like, what are your intentions? Have you ever asked somebody on a date like that? So what's your intent in dating? Wow, am I in an interview? But you know what? In all honesty, why not ask honestly? Because you don't want to waste time. Time is the most precious commodity that we have. So I think a lot of it has to do with communication. For somebody, you guys got 1. So somebody is actually really good at communicating when you stop to think first. Thank you. They're saying stop and think first before you open your mouth, is what they said. So definitely want to do that. Okay. So let me see what Divine's got to say on this intention. Pride again is in there. Got to get rid of the pride. Got to get rid of the ego. Got to be able to be more flexible and open. Boy, somebody's got some real, this is going to take a lot of strength to eliminate, release some of that pride. Definitely. But it is making a problem for your decisions, because your pride is not walking in truth, whoever this is for, or ego. It is not walking in truth. It's walking in your truth. Your truth is not 100% truth. It is your perspective. It is your reality for your journey. However, it doesn't mean it's true. Absolute truth is consistent and never changing, and a standard that you have to go by. That's the intention, is by going by absolute truth, a consistent truth that never changes and isn't a roller coaster. It is second dimensional. It is divines. This is not, this is about somebody's ego. Okay. And here again, we've got in the very beginning, we've got judgment, and then we have the Seven of Cups. This is about your decisions and choices. This is a time to really change those. Actually, I don't have to say, you don't change them. You transform into a higher, more positive, more healthy, more better standard, a higher vibration, a higher energy, a higher power kind of way of thinking. And let me tell you, it's very different. When you lose your ego, there's stubbornness, and you allow things to happen and come to you in that retrospect, that is going to really open doors for somebody. Huge. It's like somebody just shut a door and you are going to see. And somebody will email me and say, wow, all of a sudden things started happening. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, because you let go of your ego and your pride and your stubbornness, and you'll let divine in so that you can be adaptable to what he wanted to give you. And it's going to be everything that you want. It's amazing. It's amazing. And we got to remember, though, thank you, patience, Leos, patience. Because I heard that somebody's not patient. And it does take time. It's not in your time. It's in divine's time. Okay? And this wishing well, I don't believe in wishes. I believe in miracles. It will come through. But remember that intention, that future energy, is to walk in absolute truth, not your truth, not your ego, not your pride. Now, this might not be you. This might be somebody coming to you with that ego, that pride, and that thing. So then this would be your opportunity to be adaptable and maybe ask a lot of questions. Do you know, to get somebody to really think about themselves and sort of think about their transformation and how they could change, is give them the idea. I learned this in Japan when I worked with Japanese businessmen as a woman, as a business manager and running a company in Japan. I'm a woman, and that's like huge no-no, that men won't listen to you. So you have to learn how to work around it. So you make it their idea. And the way that you make it their idea is ask them a question. So do you think that if we got together, we might be able to maybe turn this friendship into a relationship? I'm just asking, and leave it. Let it be their idea. And plus, if you're a girl, you definitely want it to leave it to the man's idea. Definitely. All right. So we're going to go into love and relationships right now because we're running late as usual. All right. So again, this love and relationships, you know, this can be anything. This can be a partner. This can be a lover. This can be friendships. Because again, love is at so many different levels. You have to know where you're at with your friends. Friends are different kinds of love levels. You have to know where you are if you're in dating and a partnership. Because here's the thing. This is what's coming to me. I don't know who this is for. But ladies, you have to give the intent for the man, and it could be reversed, but I'm going to say it to the ladies more because we're emotional. We are emotional beings. I don't know how many times in coaching or even just in passing with my male friends, they're saying, I had no clue I was even in a relationship. I thought we were just friends. I thought we were dating. I didn't know I was in a relationship. So men are telling me this a lot because women are expecting to be at a certain level up here in a relationship when they're actually down here. You have to communicate, guys. You have to communicate. So I don't know who that's for. Okay, so we have the Lady of the Gift. We have generosity, receiving, withholding. So this is a giving and taking kind of a situation, guys. If you're in a love relationship or if you're in a relationship of any kind, this is a time where it's going to take strength. I would have to say a lot of ladies, especially if they've been through any kind of abuse, have a really hard time receiving anything. And when they can receive, there's always that little part of them is, what's the catch? What is the catch? So in a relationship, knowing that you're just doing something or giving something or sharing something like time, there is no commitment to anything to come back to you, expectations to come back. It's just you're doing it because you love them, you care for them, you want them. You're just being generous and showing love in the way that you're showing. Because a lot of the times it could be just touch. Do you know that most of everybody human, not only men, women, and in a relationship, love touch? And that is even really important to men in the way, and it doesn't have to be sexual, it's the way that you touch them. And it's the way that makes them feel wanted and needed. That's a giving and receiving. It's a dance. And finding out what your partner wants in touch definitely is going to really grow your bond. You'll be really, really surprised. So you and your loved ones are safe. Maybe somebody is concerned about their safety in their relationship, or maybe feeling a little bit insecure because you don't know the intentions of where you're at. Find out. Don't be afraid to ask. Are we just friends? Are we dating? Are we monogamous? Are we exclusive? Or are we in a in a swinging relationship? What is it that you're in? This is something that you really have to get clear, because if you look at the lady of the gift, the last thing is withholding. And withholding is limiting yourself to bring yourself even closer, because on this card is the number 2. Number 2 is the partnership, bringing it together or separating it. Okay, so this is really important. Safety can be of the mind and could be also of the spirit, and also because of your body. So if you're feeling uncomfortable in some way, mentally, physically, spiritually, you have to communicate. That is where your strength is going to come. I'll tell you, I was not safe to talk about my sexual abuse probably until in my mid to late 20s. Fear held me back because of the things that I was afraid of that were actually illusions, and actually something that I had been taught and brainwashed that to be fearful of. Because if I am vulnerable with my partner, and if I am vulnerable to share and not withhold, I can feel a million times more safe, more loved, and more bonded. So make sure you're sharing and not withholding. All right. So that's your reading, guys. Leos. Now, I'm going to give you 2 little announcements before we go. One, don't forget the dailies are still going. I will see at the end of the month if there's any growth in likes or people watching them. I'll keep them going. If not, they take a lot of energy. I may stop them for a little bit. But so get your friends out there to watch them if you want them to keep going and growing. Second announcement is, 2. Full moon. I'm going to try to do that full moon reading. I'm going to do it early because we are flying out on the 24th, which is the full moon. God forbid anything happens while we fly. That is a full moon. We know how to expect the unexpected. So I might be doing that like on the 22nd. I am going on vacation from the 24th until July 4th. So I think I'm going to have 1 week recorded, so there won't be any live chats. You're very welcome, Felix. There won't be any live chats for that week. However, I'm taking my cards with me, so there might be some bonus readings from Florida at Universal Studios or Disney World. But I just might do a hangout kind of a thing. Just to say hello, because I will probably have a little bit of, what do you call that? What do you call that when you have a craving for something? Because I'm now so used to doing readings that I can't go without doing them. What do you call that? And it's not an addiction. Let me tell you, it's not. But anyway, so those will be then. So I hope that you guys look into that. So I think the 28th through the 4th is going to be the week that is recorded. However, I'm going to be live. So surprise live. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. And if you like the energies of this channel, please like them. That just tells YouTube that, hey, these people like this and they want more of it. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week, and take care of yourselves and walk in absolute truth and love. Bye, guys.